Alright guys, NinjaCube has finally given us update 4.2 patch notes, yes, with the new hero Bonnie and a bunch of other changes, so let's hop right into it. Now starting off hot, we got new features, new hero Bonnie, a hard-working Bloonstone miner with a new playstyle. Starting at level 2, Bonnie causes minecarts full of Bloonstones to appear on the natural Bloon path. Your monkeys will target the minecarts like Bloons. You won't lose lives if they escape, but if you pop them, they drop cash. You can upgrade the minecarts from Bonnie's upgrade panel, making them more valuable but also tougher. Bonnie also helps your defenses by throwing sticks of dynamite onto the track, which explode after a delay or when the balloon touches them. Bonnie's level 3 ability, Mass Detonation, throws dynamite on all the minecarts on screen, destroying them instantly in a big balloon popping explosion. Her level 10 calls in the Bloonstone excavation and supply truck, the Beast. This massive truck barrels down the path like a regular minecart, stunning any balloons that gets in the way. The more damage you deal to it, the more cash it'll drop. So with all of this, Bonnie sounds like actually pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. Like a completely new hero that's never been seen before in BT6, exclusive for Battles 2. Now I wonder how effective Bonnie's money generation actually is. There's a couple clips in the teaser video they sent where you can kind of see how it works. Like right now, Bonnie, you're making $180 per minecart and it costs $1,000 to upgrade it, or sell all for $15.40. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but a good strategy could be that waiting for the whole screen to fill up with minecarts and using the level 3 detonation ability to just explode all of them at once. I'm also curious if you can like slow down the minecarts with like glue or something, because then you'd have even more on your screen at once, and then obviously level 3 detonation would be even more effective. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it ends up playing out. Another thing with Bonnie is that I feel like it's going to pair a lot better with eco strategies than farm strategies. And this is because with a farm strategy, you're going to have to kind of decide on what to spend money on. If you want to spend money on more defenses to pop Bonnie's minecarts, you're going to have to spend money on farms. While with eco strategies, it's a pretty easy decision to make. You're not deciding between two income sources. You're just going to pick the one through Bonnie, and that allows you to have another tower defensively in your loadout because you now have 3 defensive towers. So yeah, I feel like it'll pair better with eco strategies. But on to the next thing, Arena League changes. Losing a game in Ceramic Crucible, Moab Pit, or BFB Coliseum will incur a 1 trophy penalty. Losing a game in ZMG Superdome or Whole Masters will incur a 2 trophy penalty. 0 trophies still cannot fall below 0, so there's no penalty for losing in any arena if you're already at the bottom. You no longer receive 1 trophy for losing a game after round 30. You can no longer earn 20 trophies in a league to be eligible for promotion. You just need to finish in the promotion zone. You will always be demoted if you end the league with 0 trophies. Players will no longer be automatically demoted from Whole Masters if they don't participate in a league. That's something that I know a lot of Whole Masters players were complaining about, so that's a good change. We're reviewing the feedback from the recent survey about these changes and make adjustments in the next update. So I've already made a video about this kind of. Definitely good that they're adding losing penalties into the leagues because Whole Masters right now is full of noobs, so hopefully this kind of weeds some of them out. You obviously still get a 2 trophy penalty in Whole Masters, while you get 3 trophies if you win a match, plus you can get an extra one for like win streaks and stuff. So it's not a complete offset, but it will definitely help a little bit, I think. New lobby UI. Battles 2 now features 24 playable heroes to a more comfortably scroll in single list. Yeah, I'll show a picture of it. They showed it in the video. It's actually pretty nice, so be easier to select your hero, which I actually sometimes have issues doing. Already went over that. Now we're on to the general changes. Jumpstart rewards. A quirk of the rules meant Jumpstart games were giving a disproportionate amount of hero points and tower XP. Hero points and tower XP are now based on the number of rounds played, not the starting round. The XP formula has been adjusted to account for the fact that Jumpstart games often take place over fewer rounds than standard games. Okay, so basically, I guess you're gonna get less rewards from Jumpstart games because before it would just like be based on whatever round you started on. Now it's gonna be based on the amount of rounds you played, which makes sense, but you're gonna make less stuff. All right, balance changes, guys. This is the stuff I'm always really interested in. First off, we got Bloon Sins. Round 3 grouped blues now give plus 1.1 income instead of plus 1 income. Okay, so a slight buff to them. Round 10 grouped blacks give plus 2.9 eco instead of plus 3. And then round 10 grouped whites give plus 2.5 eco instead of plus 2.6. And lastly, round 23 tight leads cost $1,200 instead of $1,400. Give you 22 eco instead of 24 eco, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's more efficient eco-wise per cost. And they also send out 60 balloons instead of 80 balloons, and the send duration remains at 1 second with the balloon spacing being increased. So basically, this is what they did to tight leads. They made it a little bit more efficient eco-wise. They made it a much weaker rush by sending out less balloons for less cost, but proportionally before you're getting a better bang for your buck. And the balloons are spaced a little bit more. So they basically nerf tight leads, but increase their eco a little bit. Boomerang Monkey. The X4 Moab Press Special Kylie pushes mobs back 2.4 units instead of 2 units, so a slight buff to to the Moab Press. Bomb Shooter, the Bomb Blitz is increased in price from 35k to 38k. With this, they said Bomb Blitz is a great option to effectively deal with large rushes like tight mobs and tight group BFBs. We have upped the price a bit, so that it'll be a bit more costly to keep building and selling for its ability. That actually makes sense, because Bomb Blitz is actually pretty effective against some of the rushes in the game. And I see it used quite a bit when people use Bomb Shooter, so worthy nerf. Tack Shooter, the Inferno Ring meteor targeting can now be selected. Previously, it was always target strong. I guess that's a nice little quality of life thing that's in BTD6. Ice Monkey, there's actually some interesting changes to Ice. The Snowstorm and Absolute ability, the Snowstorm and Absolute Zero abilities now slow down mobs, BFBs, and DETs to 2.25 speed, where before it was 5 speed. So basically, it's going to be more than twice as effective to everything that's not a ZOMG, and it's going to be the same speed for the ZOMGs. So that's actually a pretty big buff to those. Not going to lie, that's pretty massive. The Absolute Zero ability and speed modifier can now soak through mob class balloons, which is also pretty crazy. So if you slow a ZOMG with it and you pop the ZOMG into BFBs, the BFBs are still slowed. And lastly, the Ice Shards was actually reduced in price from 2,000 to 1,800. I think the Snowstorm and Absolute Zero changes are fine, but Ice Shards, I don't really know if it was deserving of a buff, to be honest. I feel like it was pretty fine at 2k. Well, 1,800 is pretty cheap, so alright. Glue Gunner, the Relentless Glue, increased in price from 2k to 2.2k, and the On Pop Splat stun ZOMGs for 0.06 seconds instead of 0.1. Yeah, I noticed the Relentless Glue is actually pretty crazy for its price. I was using that a lot with glue strategies, so nice to see that being nerfed. Monkey Buccaneer, the Merchantman was decreased in price from 1,600 to 1,500, and the Favored Trades was increased in price from 5,400 to 5,700, but its cash generation was increased from 1,000 to 1,200, which I don't know why they buffed these things, to be honest. I mean, Merchantmen could maybe have gotten a buff, but Favored Trades, in my opinion, is like currently probably the best boat upgrade in the game. It's pretty efficient farming, and the plus 10% sellback on everything in their range is insane. And buffing the cost of it and changing the cost of it by 300, but buffing the round income by 200 is most certainly a pretty large buff. So I don't know. I'm also pretty curious if this Favored Trades change makes it better with the Trade Empire as well, where like before, if you had a max Favored Trades Trade Empire, you'd make 2,000 per round from your favorite trade, and now you're probably gonna make 2,400 per round, which is also pretty crazy. So definitely have to test out these boat farms, but not exactly sure why they buffed it. Monkey Ace, the Ground Zero, was increased in price from 14k to 15k, and the Flying Fortress dart damage was increased from 4 to 12, and the Moab class damage was decreased from 10 to 2. So essentially they buffed the Flying Fortress's balloon popping damage and didn't change its Moab class damage at all, because they buffed the dart damage by the same amount they decreased the Moab class damage. And with this, they said the reason for this is so that Flying Fortress can pop Bonnie's minecarts more easily. So Flying Fortress might be a Bonnie minecart popping machine if you get that up, which is actually pretty crazy. Next, we have Helipilot. The footprint size has been reduced from 23 times 23 to 18 times 18. That's actually a pretty crazy change in itself, because a lot of maps, heli farms are really good, but sometimes you just get maxed out on space of them, and then like you can't really do anything. Now you're gonna be able to fit so many more heli farms. That's actually pretty crazy. And mathematically speaking, 23 times 23 is 529 units that it used to take up. Now it's 324 units. So it's like 3/5 the size, square footage wise. So that's actually quite a big change. Comanche defense was decreased in price from 8,500 to 7,500, which is a nice change, I guess. And Apache Prime missile damage was increased from 3 to 15, and damage to ceramics and mob class balloons was decreased from 15 to 3. Again, this is just a change for the Bonnie minecarts with the Apache Prime, so not really a buff to it, just makes it work better with the minecarts. Mortar Monkey, the 5XX biggest one damage was increased from 25 to 50, and the bonus ceramic and mob class damage was decreased from 25 to 0. Again, another Bonnie minecart change. Dartling Gunner, the balloon arrow denial system was increased in price from 14.5k to 16k, but now it deals 5 damage instead of 4 damage. So interesting. That is, I'd call that a buff probably, but situationally it could be a nerf. And the balloon exclusion zone was decreased in price from 53k to 50k, and the damage remains at 8. So the balloon exclusion zone is definitely a buff. It's in total 1.5k less with the balloon arrow denial system change. So yeah. All right, fair enough. I always love using the Dartling Gunner, so that's good. The Necromancer, as long as the graveyard count is above 18, then 18 pops will consistently be deducted from the graveyard count every second. The number of spawned balloons will randomly will still randomly be 1 and 5. However, their collective pierce will always be total 18. Previously, the pops deducted from the graveyard and collective pierce of spawn balloons were not consistent. Okay, so Necromancer is no longer going to be as RNG based, which is definitely good. So I love taking RNG out of the game. The Wizard Lord Phoenix, all projectiles from the Wizard Lord Phoenix ability now deal plus 15 damage to fortified balloons, which is pretty much a plus 15 damage overall buff because late game, most of the time, you're sending fortified BADs, and the Wizard Lord Phoenix is pretty much just used in those situations. So that's a pretty big buff to it. I'll definitely have to try that out. I feel like it's going to do some solid damage now. Sniper Monkey. The X2X Shrapnel Shot. Shrapnel's Pierce now deals plus 2 damage to Camo Balloons. There was a bug where only the main attack was dealing additional damage to Camo Balloons, not the Shrapnel pieces. This has now been corrected with results in a slight buff to the Sniper. Okay. So I do think this is a good change because this is one, a bug fix, and this is how it is in BT6, so it kind of makes sense. But Sniper is obviously one of the best towers in the game right now. It was meta with Druid Sniper Farm, pretty much, and it's meta right now with Sniper Super Farm, pretty much. So even though it's a bug fix, it's buffing the Sniper, which is already really strong. They needed to pair this with a nerf. That's just how it is. They should have nerfed Sniper along with this. Not nerfing it is kind of an issue, so I don't know why they didn't do that. Super Monkey, the True Sun God damage was increased from 30 to 38. True Sun God doesn't provide enough damage considering its massive price tag. I guess that makes sense, but in my opinion, this changes virtually nothing because if you're at the point of the game where you have a Super Monkey loadout and you can afford a True Sun God, you're pretty much just going to be able to defend everything anyways, so I don't think the plus 8 damage is going to really make the difference in defending, but yeah. Ninja Monkey, the XX5 Master Bomber Sticky Bomb now deals 1,000 damage instead of 850 damage. So I guess a slight buff to the Master Bomber. Alright, I guess Ninja has been utilized a lot less recently, but I always felt like Master Bomber was pretty good anyways. Alchemist, the Unstable Concoction attack rate is now 4.5 seconds instead of 6 seconds. The larger potions now increases Unstable Concoction Pierce by 1. In all honesty, Unstable Concoction has never seemed as good in battles as it did in like BT6, so I guess buffing it a little bit could be warranted, especially with Alchemist not really being used too much right now. Druid, the Hard Thorns upgrade was reduced in price from 350 to 250, and the Heart of Thunder was increased from 900 to 1000. They reworked these prices a little bit a while back when Druid was meta with the Druid of Jungle Farming, so they worked them back now that Druid's kind of less OP, so it makes sense. Spike Factory, the Carpet of Spikes attack rate has been decreased from 0.98 to 0.49. Carpet of Spikes base attack has been buffed, so there's more of a reason to keep it up rather than selling it instantly after activating its ability. Okay, so this isn't the like passive ability of spewing the spikes out. This is just like the main spike it throws on the map. It's throwing twice as fast. So this is going to change very little, but I guess it's a small buff to it. Engineer Monkey, the Sentry Guns are cheapened from 450 to 400, and the Sprockets are cheapened from 525 to 500. Honestly, Engineer could probably be buffed a little bit more. I'm barely seeing it these days, but good changes nonetheless. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the changes. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. A lot of stuff going on. Bonnie is really exciting. I want to see how that ends up playing out. Probably going to be a little overpowered when it comes out, but still going to have fun with it for sure. And yeah, that's it for today. Ryan back out. Peace, guys. Have a good one.